Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We just seen the Knicks lose. A heartbreaker to the Charlotte Hornets, man. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. It's a tough game. We really needed this win. Really needed this one tonight. We didn't get it. But hey, what are you gonna do, man? Let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it.
That's the G.
And the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, they took a loss to the Charlotte Hornets tonight. A tough loss it was. As you see, RJ Barrett come up the floor. The Knicks get the first bucket of the game with Mook Morris. Game is 2-2. RJ Barrett doing his thing. He had a good night tonight. Misses that one. But Taj Gibson is there to throw it back down. The Brooklyn native. Mook Morris goes to the basket, lays it in again. Taj Gibson gets the rebound and puts it back in. Taj Gibson on the night for the Knicks had 9 points, 7 rebounds. RJ Barrett flushes it on the fast break. And RJ Barrett had a pretty good night tonight, like the way he played tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. But that guy right there was hot all night. He was hot all night, Devontae Graham, and you'll see what he does at the end of the game. Malik Monk pulls it from deep, knocks it down. The score is 10-8, middle of the first quarter. But look, the Knicks played well for the most part tonight. You see Mitch gets the ball back to Frank. Frank pulls it up, knocks it in. We want to see more of that from Frank Ntilikina. If Frank Ntilikina could do that, man, he could be on his way. His confidence is growing, though, ladies and gentlemen. And then you see, from deep, Charlotte knocks it in, make it 13-12. Frank Ntilikina goes to the cup, finds Mitch Robinson for the dunk, and the Knicks are really making that a staple of the offense. Mitch Robinson had 17 points and 12 rebounds tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Smith Jr. gets 1 to go. He was in foul trouble for most of the night, so he didn't play too much. 16-13, Charlotte is up, New York is up. And again, Graham goes to the cup. This guy, Devontae Graham, can play some basketball, ladies and gentlemen. He's a second-year player. Didn't get much burn last year, but he's getting burned now. Bismack Biyombo bangs his way down low, gets a bucket, makes it 18-17 Knicks. And then Damian Dotson gets in the paint, pulls it up, misses it. But Mitch Robinson is able to grab the air ball and throw it down. And then again, Devontae Graham breaks it. Frank Ntilikina gets the ball in the break. He's going to find Kevin Knox for the lay-in. Kevin Knox had 2 points. That was his only 2 points in the night right there. All right, you see the Knicks, Kevin Knox, out to Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis had a nice night. He knocks it down. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Frank Ntilikina, David Fizdale has found a little bit of a flow as far as his lineups are concerned. You see the Knicks up 34-25 here in the second quarter. Graham, once again, pulls it up, knocks it down. Devontae Graham was hot all night long. And you're going to wonder why Devontae Graham wasn't covered at the end of the game. Frank Ntilikina kicks it out to Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis knocks it down. Bobby Portis, on the night, had 14 points. Frank Ntilikina, he had a bunch of assists tonight, and a few of them were to Bobby Portis. You see, Charlotte Hornets down by 9 points. Terry Rozier hits it off the glass. He was okay tonight. Wasn't what, you might expect from Terry Rozier, or maybe it is what you expect from Terry Rozier. Julius Randle, while he did not hit the shot at the end of the game to finish it for the Knicks, he did have a few assists tonight, as he did a much better job taking care of the basketball. At least in my opinion, he did. You see Terry Rozier III knocks another one down. Terry Rozier, he had 16 points on the night, shot 37.5%. Charlotte's not going away. The Knicks tried to build a lead, but Charlotte was not going away. 44-42, Knicks lead. Julius Randle finds Taj Gibson as they poke a hole in the zone, and Taj Gibson goes to the line. It's 49-45 Knicks. Julius Randle goes to the cup, misses, but our boy Mitch Robinson grabs the rebound and fillets it in. Mitch Robinson had a nice line tonight, man. 17 points, 12 rebounds. He sprained his ankle, twisted his ankle, so he wasn't able to finish the game. See, R.J. Barrett, once again, knocks it down. R.J. Barrett was doing his thing out there. All right? I love the way R.J. Barrett just looks nice, calm, and cool. Goes to the basket on that one. R.J. Barrett had 22 points on the night. Doing his thing. R.J. Barrett's stat line was actually 22 points and 5 rebounds. You see Julius Randle here in the third quarter, gets it to R.J. Barrett, once again, knocks it down. But still, even though the Knicks are up double digits, Charlotte wasn't going away. The Knicks built a 14-point lead. I believe they built as much as a 15-point lead. But Charlotte wasn't having it. Devontae Graham, again, knocks it down. Devontae Graham had 29 points tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Ntilikina gets the ball to Julius Randle. Julius Randle to Mook. Mook pulls it up from 3. Bang, knocks it in. Mook Morris tonight had 14 points. Shot 50% from the field. He also had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. You see Charlotte able to stay in the game as they find Washington for the oop. 71-63 right now, third quarter. Charlotte knocks down another 3 to make it 71-66. The Knicks had a problem closing the deal. Devontae Graham again. He misses. Bismack Biyombo gets the rebound and lays it in. And I'm telling you, the game, we continue to want the Knicks to close it, but they couldn't close it. Marvin Williams knocks down a 3-pointer. It's now 75-74 Charlotte. They took the lead. Frank finds Mitch. And Mitch is a dunk machine, ladies and gentlemen. Mitch Robinson shot 75% from the field. Devontae Graham finds Malik Monk. And although this backcourt is small, they can shoot. Devontae Graham knocks down another 3. Devontae Graham, once again, he finds Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller in the post against Mitch Robinson. A little scoop up and under. Cody Zeller on the night, he had 7.6 rebounds. Frank Ntilikina finds Bobby Portis, who finds Mitch Robinson. And that was a good play, really good play, because just the play before, Bobby Portis had missed Mitch Robinson. Frank Ntilikina with a nice little spin move in the paint for the fadeaway jumper. Something we haven't seen from Frank Ntilikina much this season. Mook has the ball out on the perimeter. It's going in, pulls up, knocks it down. It's 86-80 Knicks with 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Mook finds Mitch under the basket, dunks it home. And you see Mitch, he did that on a sprained ankle, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. Terry Rozier up the court, gets in the lane, finds Washington for the dunk. And there you go. Look, Charlotte's not going away. The game is tight. It's 88-84. Terry Rozier goes to the basket and lays it in, gets fouled, makes it 88-87. The Knicks score to make it 91-87. And then Devontae Graham says, enough of that. He makes it 90-91 Knicks in the game. It's tight. And now the question is, can the Knicks pull it out? R.J. Barrett says, I got this. Spins in the paint, gets fouled, goes to the line. And we all know R.J. Barrett isn't the man from the line, but he knocks down a couple of free throws tonight from the line. He was 4 for 5 from the free throw line tonight, 3 for 4 in the fourth quarter. All right, R.J. Barrett really came through tonight. 96-92, Knicks up with 2 minutes left. Another game that the Knicks led in the fourth quarter. Right, but the switches were killing the Knicks in the fourth quarter. Julius Randle, he hit a hot streak in the fourth quarter. He had 6 points in the fourth quarter, but as you'll see a little bit later on, Julius Randle could not close the game out. Terry Rozier goes to the cup. Scoop, lays it in, 98-96. The Knicks couldn't get the stops when they needed them. R.J. Barrett with the ball again. He finds Julius Randle down the lane for the big monster dunk. But here we go. Down the lane. Charlotte comes back. Down the lane. Bismack Biyombo gets a dunk. The Knicks could not get the stops when they needed them. Once again, on a switch. Washington's going to the line. We got killed on those switches all night. And like I said before, there's a time to switch and there's a time to kill the switches. There's a time to kill the switches. Washington knocks down two of them. It's 102 to 100. The Knicks are up with 32 seconds left. And here we go, right here. And this kills me. Frank went to double team. You left Devontae Graham open, and he knocks down the three. 2.1 seconds left in the game. The Knicks call timeout. And here's why I was befuddled. You see, Julius Randle misses the shot. But here's why I was befuddled, ladies and gentlemen. I could not for the life of me understand why Coach Fizdale takes out R.J. Barrett in that fourth quarter. R.J. Barrett had 8 points in the fourth quarter, right? He had 8 points. 1 for 1 from the three-point line. 3 for 4 from the free throw line. And you take him out. I can't understand it. I don't understand it. I just can't get it. You know, one, I don't like the fact that Frank did not know the scouting report at that time. You got to know who's hot, who's doing what. Why would you leave Devontae Graham to go double team? You can't leave him. The man had already made 8 3-pointers or whatever it was. He was hot all night. He already had 26 points. You don't leave him. You stick with him. You stay by his side. You stay in his hip. Frank left him. And then on the last shot of the night, get this. This we're down 1 point. 1 point. All right, and this is my argument with Fizz on this. You're down 1 point. You have the guy who just hit a 3-pointer in the last game to seal the game. He's not there. He's inbounding the basketball. You have the guy who just scored 8 points in the fourth quarter and was hot all fourth quarter, shooting well all game, had 22 points. Your leading scorer, he's not on the floor. Okay? He's not on the floor. And then, you have Damian Dotson. He's not a shot creator. You have Wayne Ellington. He's cold. You have Frank Ntilikina, who, while he played a nice game, played a decent game, it's not like he was hot from the field. So who else? You know, I seen people arguing and complaining that Julius Randle missed the shot. Who else was supposed to take the shot? That's what I want to know. Who did you expect to take that shot? Wayne Ellington was in the far corner. Damian Dotson was in the other corner. Who's going to take the shot? I don't understand why you wouldn't have your best. You didn't need a 3. I can understand if you just straight up needed a 3. You had 1.1 second left and you needed 3-point shooters in the game. I get it. But you didn't need a 3. Maybe he wanted to spread the floor for Julius Randle. I just don't get it. I don't know. Julius Randle, up until that point, well, not up to that point, Julius Randle he shot well in the fourth quarter, right? He had 6 points. But then he had one bad shot that he shouldn't have took, an ill-advised shot. R.J. Barrett had no bad shots. And R.J. Barrett has a penchant of going to the line. He gets to the line. R.J. Barrett gets to the line. I don't know. And so the only person that you had on the floor, really, because Mook Morris was not in the game at the time, the only person that you really had on the floor was Julius Randle. I don't know what you expected to do. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. So there's going to be a lot of people that want to blame Julius Randle for not making the shot. But there's so much more that leads up to Julius Randle not making that shot than just Julius Randle not making that shot. You got to look at the personnel that was on the floor and why they were on the floor. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the play before, why Frank went to double team and he shouldn't have went to double team. Obviously, the scouting, the coaching staff has to let you know, Frank, stay on his hip. Don't leave him. Don't go double team. He's hit 3-pointers, 8 3-pointers already. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it, man. Doesn't make sense to me. Hopefully you guys can help me make some sense of it. Because I don't understand it. So I'm going to ask you guys. And I see Mark got his hand raised. I guess Mark's going to be able to make sense of it. All right, Mark. I'm going to let you make some sense of it, bro. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Let me get you unmuted and all that stuff. You're all excited and everything. Go ahead, man.
Do me a favor, because we didn't lose on the last shot. We lost 2 plays. We lost on that that play where PJ Washington got that wide open pick and roll, and Randall just stood there and looked. Then Randall came down and took a hero ball shot. And then this game goes to Frank, because you should have never doubled PJ Washington. Because if you seen how the play developed with Graham all the way in the back, you knew PJ was giving up the ball right then. I seen that play coming from a mile away. Anytime a coach have a scorer running from the back, the ball is automatically going to him. And you seen where PJ just looking at it, you knew PJ was looking up. Frank committed too much. When people say he was right there, no, he wasn't. He doubled. He didn't need to double PJ. He did not need to double PJ. But this game right here goes to that pick and roll defense where Randall just stood there. PJ just went down and flushed. Because that's the stop where we need it. And I said
hold up. I want to stop you there. Because I knew you was going to try to put everything on Randall.
I didn't say that.
Hold up. Stop and listen. Stop and listen. Right? Because, yes, that was one play. That was one play. But you know what continuously happened down the stretch of that fourth quarter? Continuously. Hold up. Listen. Continuously. The Charlotte Hornets forced the Knicks to switch. And P.J. Washington scored in the post at least 2 or 3 possessions down the stretch. Either from getting fouled or going up because he was switched on the DSJ or he was switched on the Frank Ntilikina.
Bro, did you watch the last shot PJ Washington took off a pick and roll when Randall was right there?
Bro, the last shot that he took, he got fouled by Frank Ntilikina off of a switch. That was the last thing he did. Off of a switch. Hold up. But listen, off of a switch. And that made it 102 to 100. Off of a switch. That is bad defense. That is bad defensive strategy. Because Julius Randle was all the way out on the perimeter guarding Devontae Graham on the switch. And Washington went to the basket and got fouled by Frank Ntilikina. Whether or not you like the foul, whether or not it was a good foul.
Man. Jesus Christ.
The switch is the problem. The switch was the problem. I'm telling you, there were at least 6 to 8 points because we switched down the stretch. We switched on every possession, and they continuously switched, and Julius Randle was out on Devontae Graham on the perimeter while P.J. Washington was scoring down low. Continuously. I'm not saying that Randle is absolved of not playing good defense because obviously he did play some bad defense, but that switch is not his problem. That is a call from our coach.
Jesus Christ.
That is a call from our coach.
That was back-to-back that led to the loss. I'm not talking about P.J. Washington when he was in the paint. I know what you're talking about. But I'm talking about when they got the pick and roll and Randall was supposed to be right there. He let him go for a dunk. And from that play, we went back down. They gave Julius Randle the ball again, and he went and took the hero shot. And then I said the last play is on Frank for doubling on P.J. Washington.
Right. But see, you want to put
designed for him.
This is my problem. This is my problem with you, though. This is my problem. You want to put so much. You want to put so much on Randall, and you want to ignore everything else. You want to ignore everything else. You want to ignore everything else. You want to ignore that he made 6 baskets. I'm not saying he didn't take a bad shot. He took a bad shot. But you want to ignore that he made 6 baskets. You want to focus on one missed defensive play. And yes, it was not a good miss. You don't want to miss any plays. But you don't want to focus on the fact that we had to switch on every possession. And they took advantage of it on every possession down the stretch. You don't care about that. You just want to have your agenda out there, but you don't care about that. They switched, And most of the time that P.J. Washington scored, it was off of a switch. I want to talk about the switches. I want to know why we can't make that adjustment to not switch. Like, why would you switch and put Julius Randle on Devontae Graham? Now you have two mismatches. Because Devontae Graham is going to score on Julius Randle every time. P.J. Washington is going to score on Frank Ntilikina or Dennis Smith Jr. every time. Every single time. So why switch? Doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense at all. Why switch? Why switch? Doesn't make any sense. Guillermo, what's good, man?
Yo, I'm sorry. First and foremost, Sim, including yourself, Frank was not double teaming PJ Washington. He tried to cheat to cut off as to where Graham was going, and the mistake was that he did it way too early, and Graham was smart enough to cut back and get the pass to PJ Washington. He was not double teaming PJ Washington. That would have been asinine. That would have been stupid. That's first and foremost. Okay, I'm not trying to correct you. I'm just saying that people have a perception.
Either way, you just stay at his hip. You don't leave off of him. You just stay at his hip. Stay at his hip.
I agree. Yes, I agree at that point. Just try to play more honest versus sneaking and trying to go for a turnover. There's no point in doing that. I agree, but he was not double teaming PJ Washington. That's one thing. I wish Taj Gibson was on the other side because Mitch kind of like was off too much. But anyway, that's it. I mean, I would say, look, our perimeter defense is the main culprit, man. When we go to the zone, especially when it's the 2-3 zone, we suffer. First of all, they have a bunch of perimeter shooters. I'm not a genius at basketball, but what I was taught at my crappy high school, Wilton High School in basketball, is that when a team has a bunch of perimeter shooters, you play the 3-2, and they have to try to beat you with a 2-1-2. Now, tonight, I don't know how the Knicks did it. They played 3-2 on us, and we didn't play 2-1-2, but Frank and our other guys were able to get the ball to Mitchell Robinson in the middle, where the 1 is, and then 2-1-2, and he was able to execute by getting that nice delayed pass and dunking at the basket. I will give Fizdale that credit. That was very impressive what I saw when they broke down to 3-2. But our 2-3 defense, I don't know what is up with Fizdale. It's like if he doesn't have Mitch and RJ and Frank in there, he just doesn't know what to do. Like we just fail so badly on defense in the zone. Take these guys out to 2-3. They don't have a great front court period. You can oversell playing on the perimeter, protect against these shooters when you got Graham, you got PJ Washington, you got the kid Monk, right? Protect against those guys, sell out against the perimeter, and let them try to beat you on the inside. Let them play that 2-on-2. Let them try to break you down with their front court. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of Fizdale so many times. It's like when it comes down to crunch time situations, you don't see any modicum of coaching. And people want to get on Randle. You know, hey, Randle had those possessions with the ugly little lay of fadeaways, whatever. I didn't see anybody complain about that. So all I'll say with Randle is that we don't need to put him in crunch time situation. Like that last play, I thought was poorly drawn up. And the last shot that he took where he kind of rushed, I thought was poorly drawn up. But that's on Fizdale. But again, when Randle made quick decisions to the basket, you know, when he had that little mid-range game, I had no problem with it. You know what I mean? But again, in that last second, I know why I didn't have RJ, even though I would still have him for that last second just because he's least likely to be fouled anyway. But Fizdale needs to be a little bit more creative. The Hornets can literally call timeout and be more creative than us and get that pass to Graham. You know, there should be no excuse. First of all, in that last play, why are you having it so that the pick happens so early? The defense can recover in that situation, and they know that you don't have 7-8 seconds, so it's not like you're going to get the ball, dribble, and then make something happen. The play has to be catch the ball, bang, maybe one dribble and shoot. So the best play should have been to have a pick later, or have a guy come around a curl a little bit later in the sequence, if that makes sense. Like when he gets the ball, he's getting the ball as he's coming off the pick. So then now the guy has to kind of rush. And now he can make the decision, all right, this guy is overdoing it. Maybe I could, dribble to the basket, take a nice little a shot, or maybe wait for him to jump over me as he's trying to block my shot, fake it and then take the three. Something, but that pick has to happen a little bit more late. It can't happen that earlier where the defense can recover. So again, look, the third quarter defense was terrible. The perimeter defense was terrible. They got back in this game. That team really had no answer for us outside the perimeter shooting. And again, we allowed this kid, Graham, who I'm not saying he's not good or is going to be good, but we can't let these guys come into the Garden. We know that these guys, we have the scouting report on them. We have to play them to shut down their strengths and make them make plays in other ways. I said this with, this team they have to do it. I said it with Kemba Walker. I said it with Kyrie Irving, where I say, hey, make Jared Allen make plays. And then again, we let their main guys get back to their strength. So to me, man, I'm not, I want to get angry because of this. We shouldn't have lost, but it's like, damn, Fizdale, you got to do a little bit better coaching in these crunch time situations, man. Your defense got to be better. You can't over rely on individual players. Execution out of bounds on dead balls has to be a lot better. I understand he's cut down the lineup. We don't see Trier as much anymore, or some other players as much anymore. But he has to do a better. He has to do a better job of getting the right lineups in the right times. We have these little lulls. We can't score. Or we can't defend. He has to either teach better defense or have the right guys there. I know I hurt with the ankle, so he kind of had to take him out a little bit. But I don't want to get too angry. It's like, damn, man.
Yeah, and I just looked at that play. You're right. Frank Ntilikina was trying to hedge him off as he was, trying to cut. Look
Right.
like he was going to cut that way.
And I'll say this, Sim. I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize to cut you off. The only thing I'll say with Frank on that, the only thing is that Frank has to be smarter, right? Because we were up by 2, right? So in that situation,
up by 2.
we're up by 2. Let him score the 2. Sell out on the 3 in terms of, like you said, play him straight up. He has to get the ball somehow, whatever. PJ Watson, if he wants to turn around and shoot a 3 from that far, God bless him. But make it so that at the very most they can score is 2. But do not give up the 3. So for Frank, I know you try to oversell and play. Look, Frank didn't have Taj. I don't think Taj was on PJ Watson at that position. He doesn't have another defensive big or a hungry Draymond who's going to help him on that play where he maybe could cheat and maybe the big man comes around and then takes PJ. You know what I mean? So he has to be smart and understand the personnel that he's playing with and be smart in the situation. The context means everything. Let him have the 2. Even if it's a layup, let him have the 2. We have the last second shot at the end. Let's bring this at worst to overtime. But Frank has to be a little bit smart on that play.
No, definitely. Frank has to be a lot smarter on that play. In that situation, I feel like you stick to his hip.
Yep.
I mean, if you're right up on him, obviously guys are fast in the NBA, right? But you stick to his hip. He's shooting 3. You don't let him get anywhere near the 3-point line. If he's gonna cut to the basket, he cuts to the basket. A 2 can't hurt you. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
But you're right. It wasn't a double team. He was, he was going to cut, and then, he popped back the other way. But man, I don't know. I mean, you gotta. Frank can't let that happen, and then Fizdale got to do a better job on the other end because, I get the fact that maybe he wanted to try to spread the floor out for Julius Randle, but Wayne Ellington is cold. Okay, maybe they got to respect it, but I think they would have respected R.J. Barrett more because he was already hot. He was already playing well. As a matter of fact, R.J. Barrett may have been able to create something better than Julius Randle, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, Sim, man.
You know what I'm
too many
saying?
times. This is why I get mad with Fizdale, right? When we were breaking down that 3-2, right? I was like so thoroughly surprised, man, when they were getting those passes to Mitch, and those were delayed passes, man. Like it's tough. And if you saw how the Hornets were playing their front 3 in that 3-2, I don't want to say it's a marvel. I'm not trying to overhype it, but if y'all guys could watch it, it was impressive. I don't know if that was by design that the Knicks were doing it, but the way they were getting the ball to Mitch, and they're 2 in the 3-2. They weren't playing. They were scared. I don't know, whatever on Mitch. But then it's like we have these plays where it's like you see, the quick passing and things of that nature. We still these stupid handles. But then when it comes to crunch time situations, it's like we rely on individual players, and we don't have those type of guys. Like, look, if you have James Harden on your team, if you have, I would say LeBron James, but I guess you could say LeBron James, right? If you have LeBron James, if you have Kawhi Leonard, if you have some of these premier guys that in ISO situations, you gotta, what I mean? Even if you want to say old Melo, you gotta play these guys straight. They could be that type of guy. But we don't have that type of guy. So in these situations, you got to be more like the Celtics. And I'm talking about Celtics of like the 09, 010, that late 2000. They would, in terms of, say what you want about Doc Rivers, he drew up some of the best out-of-bounds plays I've ever seen. In terms of, he set that double screen with Garnett and Poe, or Garnett and the other big bearded point guard, Ford they used to have, I can't remember the center, Kendrick Perkins, where essentially they set the double pick and then Allen's coming around. And they set that last pick with Garnett right at the right time where he pushes his man and then sets the pick on Allen's man who's trying to run, and Allen gets an open 3. Or in crunch situations, they'll have it where Pierce is getting the pick and he's coming around on the foul line, hits that little foul line jumper. Like, I don't know what Fizdale's watching, But this stuff of pass, I don't know if he's trying to justify Randall's contract, but it's hurting him. It's making them want to cut him or fire him or whatever even sooner, because you cannot rely on Randall in those crunch time situations where you just pass to him. And guys, even if Randall had made that shot, it was after the shot clock. So
It was
obviously
after
you
the
had
shot clock.
no plan.
Yes.
Like,
it was after. It was after
doing?
the shot clock. The buzzer, I believe, had already went off. It wouldn't have counted. It wouldn't have
Yeah, it was
counted.
done.
It wouldn't have counted. It wouldn't have counted. Man, we needed this win. We needed this win. Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look at and Guillermo. You know, we didn't get a chance to talk earlier, but if you could try to keep guys moving on some topics in there, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some people that want to join into the second screen. All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you can join into the second screen where they'll be having conversations other than conversations that I'm having with you. So make sure you join in on the second screen. You can scream on Mark in that second screen all you want. Scream on him. Scream on him. Mark's sitting there looking mad and ugly because me and him got into an argument. Like, he ain't even going to smile. He ain't even going to smile. Look at him. He's mad. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
What's going on?
All that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you do that for me. Yeah, go ahead in there and in that second chat and get on Mark a little bit. Mess with Mark a little bit, just for fun. Let's take a look at the box scores and some of the stats behind the game. All right, and man, was this a game that we needed, ladies and gentlemen? It was a game that we really, really needed. And the Knicks led by 15 points in this game. I just don't see a reason why we should have. We led by 15 points in this game, ladies and gentlemen. We need it. You got to close it out. You got to close that out. You know what I'm saying? You got to close that out. We weren't able to close it out. Let's take a look at some of these stats. The Knicks lost the game 103 to 102 on a 3-point shot by Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham had 29 points tonight. He was hot all night long. And Guillermo is right. Frank Ntilikina did not try to double off with Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham looked like he was cutting one way. Frank Ntilikina went to hedge it, cut him off going that way. Devontae Graham came back the other way, and Frank Ntilikina lost him for a second. He did recover, and he was on him, and it was a deep three, but you got to stay on the guy's hip. 103-102, Knicks lose to the Charlotte Hornets. The Knicks out-rebounded the Hornets, something we said they needed to do, 48-42. I would have liked to see them dominate the glass just a little bit more, but they did not, because the Hornets aren't really a good rebounding team. The Knicks had 22 assists. Both teams had 22 assists. They were tied at 22 assists. Both teams had 5 steals. Hornets had 3 blocks. The Knicks won. One monster block by Mitch Robinson, who I think it was on Malik Monk, threw it out of bounds. The Knicks only had 11 turnovers. They took over the ball. That was one of the keys to the game. If you guys don't know, the day before each game, I do a game preview where we discuss, some of the keys to the game. And one of the keys is that the Knicks had to take care of the basketball because the Hornets were I think it was 3 or 4 in the league, maybe 5 in the league at scoring off of turnovers. Like 19 points per game off turnovers. So the Knicks had to take care of the ball. They did a good job. They shot well. They shot 45% from the field. At least that's better than what they've been shooting. The Hornets shot 41.4% from the field. Right, the Knicks only shot 30% from 3. And while Devontae Graham was lighting it up from 3, he was really the only guy. The team shot 35.4% from 3. The Knicks are shooting their free throws better. They made it at 7. They made 78% of their free throws tonight. The leaders of the game, of course, for the Charlotte Hornets, Devontae Graham had 29 points. R.J. Barrett led the team with 22, which befuddles me as to why he wasn't in the game with 2.1 seconds left. And maybe getting the ball so that he can try to create something. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Julius Randle led the Knicks in assists with 6. Nicholas Batum, he led the Charlotte Hornets with 6 assists. Mitch Robinson and P.J. Washington both led their respective teams with 1 block apiece. Mitch Robinson also led the Knicks with 12 rebounds. Mitch Robinson had 17 points and 12 rebounds tonight. Nicholas Batum, he led the Charlotte Hornets with 9 rebounds. Now, the Hornets, are not really a team that can score in the paint, but the Knicks did. They scored a lot of points in the paint. The Hornets gave up 56 points per game in the paint. The Knicks scored 46. You see, in the first half, we did try to take advantage of the paint a little bit. Right? Mitch was dunking in the paint. We were, using RJ Barrett was getting into the paint. We were scoring in the paint. Second half, they went zone. They ran some zone. The same way we were running zone, they ran some zone. Took us out the paint. All right, second chance points. The Knicks had 19 second chance points. A lot of that is due to Mitch Robinson. Mitch Robinson is a really good offensive rebounder. And then Charlotte had 10 second chance points. The Charlotte Hornets had 14 fast break points. The Knicks only 4 fast break points. We're not a fast breaking team at all. The Knicks bench played well. I guess you can say we won the war of the benches tonight. Right? The Knicks bench had 39 points. The Charlotte Hornets bench had 32. The Knicks bench had 20 rebounds to 19 for the Hornets. Only 5 assists for the Knicks bench. The Knicks bench had 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers. They shot 45%, but only 25% from the three-point line. All right, the Charlotte Hornets bench shot 33% from the three-point line. The Knicks starters, they scored 63 points to the Charlotte Hornets 71 points. All right, the starters had 28 rebounds, 17 assists, shot 45% from the field, shot 33% from 3. All right, but the Knicks bench has to continue to show up and show out. They got to continue to show up and show out. All right, players of the game for each prospective team. I'm not sure, well, because this is fantasy basketball, P.J. Washington was the player of the game for the Charlotte Hornets, so that's obviously misleading and wrong because it was clearly Devontae Graham who was the player of the game. And I guess you could say Mitch Robinson was the player of the game for the Knicks. I can give it to Mitch Robinson, but for the Charlotte Hornets, it clearly was Devontae Graham. He was the player of the game for the Charlotte Hornets. So the Knicks drop a close game, and you know what? Let's take a second, which I did not do, and I'm going to do it now, and take a look at the box scores. All right, so we can look at what everybody did for the Knicks in this game. And I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But the Knicks drop one that was sorely needed, ladies and gentlemen. It was sorely needed. The one thing we can take from this game is that they didn't have an emotional letdown. Right? They didn't come into the game the way that they did against the Cleveland Cavaliers after we beat the Dallas Mavericks the first time. They came into the game with better energy. They built a 15-point lead. They obviously weren't able to keep the 15-point lead, but they built a 15-point lead. Right? So they came in with better energy. But you got to finish the games. This is another game where the Knicks led in the fourth quarter and they were not able to finish. Now, let's give the Charlotte Hornets credit. They're better than most people thought they were going to be. The Charlotte Hornets are 6-7 on the season right now. They just came off of a last-second win, a last-second shot by Malik Monk to defeat the Detroit Pistons. And then on back-to-back nights, they travel to New York, go into the Garden when it wasn't really hostile in the Garden, which we hoped it would be hostile. We hoped that the fans would have risen up. They did not. Well, I mean, they rose up, but not like you would have wanted them to. But they come into the Garden and win on another last-second three-point shot by Devontae Graham. This is a team that can get hot, as you can see, from the three-point line. They had a game, and you heard Clyde talking about it. They had a game this year where they made 21 three-point shots. 21, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot of three-point shots. So you're going to give it up to the Charlotte Hornets. They're a much better team than most people gave them credit for at the beginning of the season. Much better. All right, let's take a look at some of the box scores on the night. All right, we're going to run through these box scores. As I mentioned, for the Charlotte Hornets, and I'm going to bring this on over here for you for just a second. For the Charlotte Hornets, you see Miles Bridges. He had no points. And you guys remember Miles Bridges. He was a guy that a lot of people thought the Knicks might take when the Knicks drafted Kevin Knox. Miles Bridges had no points. P.J. Washington had 19 points, 5 rebounds. Cody Zeller here had 7 points. Devontae Graham had 29 points. 4 rebounds. He was 9 for 16 from the three-point line. The last three-pointer he made won the game for the Charlotte Hornets. Terry Rozier had 16 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Malik Monk, 12 points. Marvin Williams had 13 points. All right, scroll down. Let's look at the Knicks really quick. And I should have used the other view, but hey, I didn't. So we're going to deal with this one right now. For the Knicks, Marcus Morris had 14 points. Julius Randle had 12 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds. For Julius Randle, only 1 turnover tonight. He did a much better job getting that ball out. Much as Mark don't like Julius Randle, he did a much better job getting that ball out. All right. Taj Gibson tonight had 9 points and 7 rebounds. RJ Barrett had 22 points. He also had 4 turnovers, but he had 2 assists and 5 rebounds. Frank Ntilikina, he had 6 points, 6 assists. Mitchell Robinson had 17 points and 12 rebounds. And Bobby Portis had 14 points and 2 rebounds. Bobby Portis played a nice, important role off the bench. I will say this. I feel like David Fizdale is beginning to understand his rotations a little bit better. Now, he's beginning to, there's beginning to be a little bit more of some structure as far as, who he's going to play and when. Guys are understanding that either I'm going to start or I'm going to come off the bench. And I think that's helping the team. I got to say that. I think that's coming into play. That's coming into the picture a little bit better than it was earlier in the season. Obviously, some of his decision-making is questionable. Really questionable. But, some of the things that I see, I can say, okay, maybe he's getting an idea of who to play, when, where, why, and how. Maybe. I think that maybe he is. I hope that maybe he is. I don't know. Isaiah, I'm going to come to you real quick, man. I'm going to come to you real quick. I hope you got some points that we haven't heard yet. You got something to say. Something intelligent to say. All right. Isaiah, what's cooking, man? Isaiah, what's going on, man? This guy never pays attention. I'm going to come to Viv. Viv, I'm coming to you. Hey, Viv, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Yeah, I watched. I don't know where to begin, but maybe you can help me out.
I'll try.
I'll try it. But listen, to be quite honest, I mean the last minute or so, there were a lot of things we saw. We can nitpick on the last minute. Everything you mentioned is a fair point. But really, the game got lost in third quarter, where we just started to give up 3 after 3 after 3.
Sure.
Just had no idea. Just there were aimless switches going on then, and the zone, man. Once Charlotte went in the zone, I don't know. It seems like the Knicks didn't even figure out how to play zone and how to attack it. It was the craziest thing. But we just got very confused, and then a lot of our shots in between the middle of the third quarter, to maybe even the beginning of the fourth quarter, they were just they were rush shots. There was no sort of purpose to those shots, so we were in a big mess offensively. And I think what really hurt us today was the fact that tonight was that Dennis Smith Jr. He was in foul trouble the entire game, and he just did not. He didn't have any sort of aggressiveness because he had no rhythm, and not having him on the floor offensively, that probably really hurt the continuity of the team, especially in the second half. But the problem at the same time, on the flip side, is that defensively when he was in the game, you could just tell how I don't know if it was Graham or if it was Rozier, they just collapsed into the paint. It was all the defenders were just pretty much they were given the point guards free room to attack, and then they let kickouts, let threes. It was just a whole mess. So if I'm the coaching staff, they're going to practice tomorrow, I would really harp on what happened in that third quarter to let them go from a 15-point lead to pretty much just give up the entire lead. I think that has to be a very important thing to drill into. Now, the execution for the last 2 possessions on offense and defense, that can be also drilled on too. That's more an idea of just proper hedging, and I think that you can kind of see. You can see Frank. He he hedged and he missed. He got beat pretty much, but you can also see how. I think like Mitch was trying to retreat when he probably. If I was Mitch, I would have tried to get closer to. He'd try to double Graham or do something else because there's no point retreating because he's shooting the 3. So I don't know. There's just things you can look at from the little details there, and obviously the last shot. I mean, I think giving it to Randall, there has to be a better way. Yeah, there has to be a better execution. There has to be a better plan. I think utilize screens. They have plays. They're running plays. It's not like they're not running plays. So run a better play and just have a better execution.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, the execution part is all on the players, right? I mean, obviously, there's little things that Coach Fizdale can do, help them focus on the small parts of the game so that they can execute better and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, the execution is going to be on the players, right? Rotations, I feel, are getting better. I feel like he's understanding the rotations and who to rotate, how to rotate a little bit better. Lineups are coming into focus, I think. Pecking order is coming into focus. I still think Coach Fizdale, like Guillermo said, is a little bit trying to make Julius Randle the guy. I still think there's some of that going on. But I think pecking order amongst the players, at least, is coming into focus. Obviously, we've got to be able to finish these games out, and coaching is a big part of that. I don't know. I'm just confused at what he was trying to do at the end of the game, man. I just don't.
Sim, I'll just say this. I think as great as as good as Frank was up until the last possession, I think the fact that he was out there for 36 minutes, it probably proved to be an advantage for Charlotte because they weren't able to game plan for any sort of dribble drive penetration that DSJ could have done. And I think sadly, because he was in foul trouble, the Knicks couldn't provide that contrasting effort on offense.
Right.
So DSJ has to. Some of those fouls they were just bad fouls. I mean, it wasn't just they weren't ticky tack fouls. Some of them was just they were just dumb fouls, and you have to be a little more cautious. At the same time, if I'm Fizdale, as much as you want your players to fight through fouls, you have to be a little smarter. You can't have DSJ out there when he has 2 fouls at the end of the first. But I mean, at the same time, we don't have a lot of point guards. So I get it, but I mean, if I'm DSJ, you got to figure out how to stay on the floor, and you got to understand how to fight through this because this is not going to be the first time where he's going to be in foul trouble. So
right.
He's got to learn how to play through it, and how to also stay aggressive on defense.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm gonna come to Tony real quick. I'm not coming to you, Isaiah. I came to you and you was, you were drinking. You know what I'm saying? You was drinking and you wasn't paying attention. So I'm coming to Tony. Coming to Tony. Tony, what's going on, man?
Yo, Blackest Time. Shout out to the chat. Oh man, it's a tough loss, son. It's a tough loss.
Yeah.
I think Viv made a good point as far as that third quarter and that zone defense. That really shut out offense.
I think we lost Tony. Well, what we're going to do, we lost Tony, but I want to take a listen to Coach David Fizdale, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get back to Tony. All right. I want to take a listen to Coach David Fizdale as he is, discussing the Knicks. He says there's no concern for morale on the Knicks team. Even though, we've lost a bunch of close games, he has no concern, and he says the players have no concern. So let's take a listen to Coach David Fizdale.
You talked about not wanting to settle for moral victories. Is there a concern that with the way the season's gone so far, that morale might get down with this group?
No concern at all. We got a very resilient group.
But still, to be up the entire game almost, and then to lose it, I mean, how disappointing and crushing is this?
Well, yeah, you never want to. You don't want to lose any game, but especially when you got a solid lead going. But give them credit. They turned up their defense on us, and they really shot the heck out of that three ball. 17 for 48 from three. That's pretty impressive. And then obviously the last one was the backbreaker but again, I thought Frank was right there, contested it. Kid just made a tough shot.
You talked about not wanting to settle for moral victories.
He said Frank was right there and contested it. And Frank was there. I'll give it to him. Frank was there. He contested it. But still, Frank, you got to be a little bit smarter, Frank. I love you, Frank. You know what I mean? But you got to be a little bit smarter and knowing that, I got to be on his hip. I got to be right there. I got to be on his hip. I can't let him move. I can't let him go anywhere. And listen, I'm not saying that that's easy to do. Guys in the NBA are fast. Guys in the NBA, it's not easy to play defense in the NBA. Not easy at all. You know what I'm saying? Let's listen to Frank Ntilikina talking about that last shot. And here we go.
You did a good job.
It's kind of low. You're not going to be able to hear that. We'll come back to it. Frank Ntilikina, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, Frank Ntilikina is a dog defensively. We know it. And Frank, he does what he does defensively. And as soon as I can get that volume a little bit higher, I'll make sure I get it out to you. SNY, I love SNY, but sometimes when they do their interviews, the volume is pretty low. So sometimes it's hard to hear it. All right? So, we'll try to get another interview as soon as we can. I don't know what to say with this one, man. I really don't. I don't know what to say with this one. Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen. 516-405-2246. Talk to me. Isaiah, if you're ready, I'm going to come to you. But you got to be ready. You know what I'm saying? And see, he's not ready. So, Isaiah, are you ready? What's going on, man?
What's going on, Sam?
What's up?
Not much, man. Just hanging out with my cousins and stuff.
Yeah, you out there partying and whatnot, but you got. How did you see the game? Did you see the game?
Yeah, I saw the game. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm laughing because this is the first time I can honestly say, Sam, that Frank really messed up on a defensive assignment. This is the first time I can say that in all his 3 years, he messed up on a defensive assignment. The coaching at the end was really, I'm with you. I was so confused of why don't you have RJ out there, and that the way he set up the play was really confusing. You just have Mook shoot one of his biggest shots, and you're gonna have it outside, inbounding the ball. That was confusing. I think can we just all agree that Fizdale can't coach an offense? His plays out of timeouts have been very, very they've been bad. So, it's been almost to the point where it's just I'm scared that when he calls a timeout, that I know we're not going to score. That's how bad it is. Tim, I don't know if you remember. Remember back when the Knicks was kind of good with Mike Woodson? I was almost 100% confident when Mike Woodson called a timeout. We would literally score almost every time when he used to call a timeout, and we'd be but this dude, David Fizdale, I don't understand this. It's you can't. Him and offense just don't go together. It's just weird to me. I don't understand it. Like I said, there's a lot of weird calls at the end. We do too much switching. And then the fact that, we have Julius Randle still bringing the ball up the court when it's not working, it's just confusing.
Well,
we think got to change.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that tonight because I think it was working much better than usual tonight. Julius Randle made better decisions when he had the basketball. He had 6 assists. He led the team in assists. He only had 1 turnover. So I think he did much better tonight. Listen, the Knicks built a 15-point lead even using Julius Randle. What Julius Randle needs to do, what he did tonight offensively is good. He's got to fix his defense. His defense is not good. His defense is atrocious. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe that his defense is the sole reason that we lost tonight. So I'm not going to place this blame on just one person. You know what I mean? There are a multitude of things as to why we lost this game after building a 15-point lead. Although, you can note that, we built a good lead without Randle being in the game. So now we're going to see, if Fizdale begins to notice these things, right? And, somebody asked me, do I think Coach Fizdale has the heart to bench Julius Randle? I do not think he has the heart to bench Julius Randle. I think that Julius Randle is going to continue to be a starter for the time that he's here, unless you get someone like Giannis or something like that. And I'm not saying we're going to. I'm just saying unless. I think that Julius Randle is going to continue to start the game. And continue to get playing time as long as Coach Fizdale is the coach. I don't know, man. This situation could turn bad. Even though we played better, the situation could turn bad, ladies and gentlemen, because, after we play the Cleveland Cavaliers, we have a pretty tough stretch coming up. You know what I mean? And that stretch is brutal. It is a brutal stretch coming up. That's why this win was so important. We needed this win. This win was just necessary. It was just necessary to get this win, and we did not get the win tonight. We did not get the win tonight. Give me a call, 516-405-2246. I want to talk about morale. Right? Is this going to start to kill the morale of the team? Taking loss after loss. You heard Coach Fizdale talk about morale. We're taking loss after loss. We are, we've been in games down the stretch of the fourth quarter and had leads. 3-4 times this season we've had leads and we couldn't pull it out. How is this going? How do you think it's affecting morale now? How will it affect it going forward? I want to know what you guys think. Mark, I'm coming back to you, Mark. I'm coming back to you, Mark. And you guys will see Mark is happy. He's smiling. I'm coming back to you, Mark. Hold up, Mark.
You couldn't pay me to be a coach.
Hey,
I'll
Mark.
get fired the first day.
Hey, who's Mark? Who's Mark? I got you on the line, bro. I got you on the line. Who's Mark? You there?
I'm live? Oh, hold on.
Yeah, you live, bro. I'm coming to you. I got you on the line, man. I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead, bro.
I want to ask you a question. Make sure your face is in the camera for me, please, so I can.
My bad, bro.
There we go. So, we've had, I don't know, San Antonio, Brooklyn. Who else did we have a lead down the stretch? Maybe at least one more game we had to lead down the stretch, and Charlotte. And we've lost them. We couldn't pull them out. How is this going to impact morale? How do you think it's impacting the morale right now? Coach Fizdale says he doesn't think it's impacting the morale. How do you think it's impacting the morale?
Bro, you know how it's impacting? Because when Julius Randle took the shot and you just looked at him after defeat, he just put his head down like, bro, you don't understand. This game really, we should have won this game, Sim. We should have won it.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We should have won this game. Easy.
So it's like getting something important stripped from you, bro. I don't even know how to feel right now. It's like I'm angry and I want to laugh at the same time, and I don't know where to go now because it's like we played good defense at some point. We was flowing at times. But it was just. Sometimes, Sim, when you're a player on the floor, bro, you know what I was mad at personally? When him and RJ was playing a two-man game. RJ brought us back, then Randle took those 3 shots. Randle should have gave it back to RJ for him to create a little more instead of taking that shot.
Should
And
have.
that's where it frustrates me, because there's going to be a lot of games like that, because we're just going to hustle and tussle with teams. It's just the score is going to be what it looks like every night, 102 and 103. That's what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to those plays on the floor, I think I need some of my best players to be a little smart, so when someone is hot or someone that can handle the ball better than you, have a little IQ and give the ball back to RJ to create. And if he don't have it, he will gently pass the ball back out. I don't want the ball in Randall's hands in those times, because he just looks to do his own thing. I am sorry. And it hurts the young players. It really, really does. It hurts. He hurts us in fast break points. He hurts us when Tim, if you watch him sometimes, right? When they inbound the ball, he cuts at the ball. I need my guards to say, no, Julius, go down the court. Go down the court. Go down the court. He don't deserve to be handling no ball. He don't create for nobody. And he hurts us. He really does.
Right, but that's also Fizdale.
But
you cannot overlook that. You cannot overlook that. That is what Fizdale wants to do.
I understand. But when you're so-called the best player on the team, right? Number one, you have to set an example. Number two, you have young guys around you, meaning that you have to share the wealth. You got to help them be great for you as a player to make your game easier.
It. But Fizdale, about him running that point forward. Well, first of all, with him running the point forward,
it wasn't properly.
Hold on, it wasn't awful tonight, right? He was not awful. He did a much better job passing out with double teams. Right? He was awful on defense. You expect that. But he did a much better job passing the ball out on double teams. He had 1 turnover tonight. He had 6 assists. Okay?
Yeah, he did. He was all right.
All right. Defense. So, you have to, that's what Fizdale wants to do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And listen, but listen, it didn't come down to it. That shot that he missed where he should have kicked it out or gave it back to RJ Barrett, right?
He should have gave it to RJ.
Right, but we still had the lead after that.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things. No. There's a lot of things that go into this loss besides just one person.
No, I know.
A lot of stuff besides one person.
Hold on,
a lot of stuff.
Hold on, Sim. When you're up, right? Meaning that you don't have to force anything. So you let whatever develop. You let people touch the ball. He took it.
I get it. I watched it. I know. But you're harping just solely on one player.
No, I'm not.
There are mad plays that happen throughout this game.
No, I also blame the game on Frank for over committing on PJ.
But even up to that point, we had a 15-point lead that the entire team let slip away.
Okay,
not just two players. The entire team let that slip away.
Can I harp on that?
Sure.
All right. When we had the 15-point lead, right? And the Hornets went 3-2 zone on defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the guards doing up top, passing the ball from left to right? They wasn't even trying to pressure the zone. Like, I felt some type of way, because it's like, I know your guys seen zones your whole life playing from AAU. You're telling me you couldn't read that over and over, because the Hornets ran it over and over. And that's when we got stagnant. And the flow just went out of whack. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at the guards. What are y'all doing? That's on them, Sim. That is on them.
Well, you gotta find it's on the guards, but it's also on the coaching staff to say this is what we got to do to attack this zone. Because, like, for example, when the Knicks were running a 3-2 zone in that second quarter against the Charlotte Hornets, right? And before the coaching staff could make any adjustments, the Knicks were killing them. They couldn't figure it out. When you have a 3-2 zone, that means you have 3 guys up at the top of the key, 2 guys down low, right? That means you got to rebalance the floor and make sure you got at least 3 guys down low, because they only have 2 and 2 guys up top.
In the middle,
right?
I think you put a guy in the middle,
or have a guy in the middle, right? You know, like if you got 3 guys down low, you might have somebody flashing to the middle,
I seen
doing
Portis
stuff.
in the middle for some plays
Right.
too.
I mean, but I'm talking about from the Hornets side. So
Yeah.
the Hornets couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure it out on their own. Their coach called a timeout. They came back into the game, and they were in a 2-1-2. They figured it out. Started knocking down threes. They figured it out.
But let me.
Right?
Can I ask you a question?
The Knicks never figured it out in that third quarter.
Yeah,
and it's part
honestly,
of it is
bro,
the coaching. Coaches have to help the players figure that stuff out. Because when you're on the floor, right? Yes, you can say we as fans, we see the game from one perspective. The players see the game from another perspective. Coaches see the game from another perspective. So when you're on the floor, sometimes it is hard to recognize what they're in because defenses do a good job of disguising it, right? And you need the coaches to say, hey, they're in 2-1-2. Hey, they're in 3-2. They're in 2-3. We need to do this. We need to do that. Call a timeout, get it, and get it under control.
But you know what's so crazy? Only the Knicks lose on a shot. It's like, bro.
I know.
Like that pissed me off the most because I seen the play develop. Like I seen it.
Me too.
When PJ, look, this is how you knew PJ Tucker wasn't going. PJ Washington wasn't going anywhere. If you replay that sequence, PJ got the ball and went into a stance where he wasn't be able to move. Frank had his hands on him, meaning that Devontae Graham ran, meaning that Frank, bro, that's just on the play. I'm sorry, because you stay on the hottest player, and when you seen a guard come from the back end, come on, bro. Frank committed too much on that. He really did because PJ wasn't going anywhere, and I'd rather PJ do something with the ball than a shooter that lit us up for 8 threes, and it's like, what the hell? He hits a 3 like that. That's what really made me mad, and I came on hot like that. That's what really made me mad. Because it's like Knicks lose the way the Knicks always lose, on some miraculous dumb S.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey,
I still got that win, and we had it.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, I still got you live, so I still got you live. The Mecca TV in the YouTube chat, I just want to say something to you, right? You asked, the coaching, you said, you made a comment, you said, coaching, is it ever the players? Yeah, it is the players. A lot of times it's the players. Frank Ntilikina, he had to stay on his man. That's the players. Julius Randle's got to rotate on defense. He's got to stay with his man. That's the players. Guys got to make shots. That's the players. Guys got to not foul. That's the players. But when we talk about RJ Barrett not being in at the end of the game, that's the coach. Right? When we talk about making an adjustment because a team is in a 3-2 zone or a 2-3 zone, that's the coach. That's what the coaches have to do. Right? Putting the right players in at the right time of the game is the coach's job. Why are you putting a cold Wayne Ellington in the game? Hasn't touched the ball since warm-ups at halftime. Hasn't touched the basketball. You're putting him in when RJ Barrett had 8 points in the fourth quarter. Right? He was 1 for 1 from the three-point line. He was 3 for 4 from the free throw line. That's coaching to me. You got to make better decisions than that. So, yeah, of course the players are going to take some blame. But the coaches are going to take some blame too. Coaches are going to take some blame. Because there are things that are confusing to me as to why certain players were in at certain times. Things that are confusing. You know what I'm saying? Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's good, son?
I'm good.
So we still talking about what, morale?
Yeah, morale. We're talking about morale. I mean, of course, we went into a few other directions, but we're talking about morale. How do you think the morale of this team is right now? Do you think they're gonna? Do you think they're gonna crack? Are they ready to crack? Can they stay in it?
Not right now. Right now, the morale is where it's at. I guess it's good. He's a good bullshitter. So the morale is okay. But once we hit that road trip, that's when it's gonna get bad. That's when it's gonna get ugly.
Okay.
If we don't get a couple of if we don't steal a couple of games, then that's when the morale is gonna get real shaky and things are gonna get real ugly with this team. That's what I feel like. I feel like on that road trip is really when everything is gonna get tested.
The road trip or this
not this cap.
This stretch that's coming up of real, real tough games. This stretch coming up of real tough games.
Exactly.
Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That stretch with the real tough. That's when the morale is gonna get tested. Because I believe there's gonna be a lot of losing. And if we don't steal a couple of wins within that stretch, then that's when things are going to get real ugly. You're going to start seeing dudes playing for their contract instead of playing for the team.
Yeah.
So I think that's when it's going to get ugly.
I feel you, man. I don't know. I mean, we needed this win so bad. And, we needed this win and then, of course, to defeat Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? And, you win those two teams, then you're looking at that stretch saying, okay, maybe we can compete during this stretch. Maybe we can do something during this stretch. We get a win here and there and we stay afloat. It's,
I question Fizdale. I wonder if he has like a burner account. Because it's like we've been doing the coaching for him.
Yo, let me tell you something, man.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I noticed that a lot. I had somebody on Instagram say that to me the other day on Instagram. It was like, yo, I think Coach Fizdale really might be listening to your show. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of things that we talk about doing, we see it.
He doesn't make the adjustments until we call him out on it. Then he does it. It's like this dude is a slow learner. Like, I'm not getting it. Like,
and
it's like, what's good with your bench coaches? What are they there for? Aren't they communicating with you? Like, they don't have no input in what's going on. It's like, what do you? I know Keith Smart is a losing head coach also. So I don't I don't know. Like, they're developmental coaches that you have on your bench. They're supposed to be developing the young guys, but none of these guys, like, Mike Miller is supposed to be that, but he's too to the bench. So how much input do you expect them to have? It's like, I don't understand. This guy needs help. They need to find an offensive coordinator for him because his X's and O's is not on point. He's good with keeping the chemistry and all that morale, all that other nonsense together, and he'll be a good coach for a veteran team. But this is not the team. This is not a team for him. This team needs coaching, and they need an X's and O guy. Fizdale is not it. Not it. He recognizes things way too late with those thick ass glasses. I don't get it, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It really does seem like he recognizes things late, man. I can't call it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with this guy.
Yeah, I can't call it, man.
But the loss didn't hit me that hard because I was so high on the Mavs win that this loss, and on top of that, I'm like jaded to already. This is the third. Isn't this like the third one that we lost this way already? So it's like at this point, I'm like, damn, like you kind of like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's been a bunch of them. San Antonio, Brooklyn. Did we play Boston twice?
Nah, just once.
We played Boston once?
Yeah.
Okay, San Antonio, Brooklyn, this game. There's another game in there that really came down the stretch that we lost to. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's on coaching at this point.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we would have had the right guy to execute X's and O's, this team can be a playoff team. The potential is there. When the potential is high, like you see it. There's times that you see it that this team, the potential is there. At this point, is the coaching.
Yeah. We'll see what we're going to do, man. I mean, I will say I think he's starting to learn and understand the lineups a little bit, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, Manuel, I appreciate the call, bro.
Coming along slowly.
Yeah, slowly. Yeah, slowly.
I'll talk to you next time, man.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I want to give a big shout out to Michelle Trier, who is in the chat. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Knicks fans always love to see you join us in the chat. Big shout out to Michelle Trier, Marcy Trier, Zoe. Big shout out to you guys, man. Thank you for joining the chat, Michelle. I don't know. Can we keep up the morale? Can we keep going? Can we keep fighting? And we are coming up on a really, really tough stretch, and we're going to get tested. You know what I'm saying? We're really going to get tested in this stretch that's coming up. When you look at who we've got to play, after we play Cleveland, then we'll be playing, we play Cleveland, then we play Philadelphia, right? And then it's really going to get testy. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be up to, obviously, the veterans on the team. It's going to be up to the veterans on the team. It's going to be up to the coaches to really try to keep these guys, keep their minds straight. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really afraid. Right now, we are 3-10. And looking at the schedule that's coming up, I'm scared. I'm really scared. Right? And I know we've been over the schedule a bunch of times. But when I look at this schedule coming up, man, I mean, you talk about being broken. This thing could really break us big time, ladies and gentlemen, because when I look at it, you know, a game against a team that was under 500, the Charlotte Hornets. And listen, Charlotte is much better than we thought they were going to be. But a team that's under 500 in the Charlotte Hornets, we have them up 15 at home. We can't secure the win. Now we got to go out. And then tomorrow, Monday night, we play a team that already blew us out by 20, 30 points. And now we got to go play, after that, we got to go play some of the best teams in the league, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the best teams in the league. And, you know, you start to look and say, wow, where are these wins going to come from? I'm sure, you know, we'll snag one or two of them, but we could be looking at 5-20 when you know, over the next month and a half. We could be looking at 5-20. And, if we get to 5-20, man, I don't know, heads could start rolling. I hate to say it that way, but for real, heads could definitely start rolling. Let's take a quick look. Take a quick look once again. So Monday, we play the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right? We expect that to be a game that's winnable. But winnable doesn't mean that the Knicks are going to win it, obviously, as you can see. Then we play the Philadelphia 76ers away in Philadelphia. Then we play San Antonio at home. That might be a game that's winnable. We play the Brooklyn Nets at home. That might be a game that's winnable. All right, although both teams are still better than us, you know, those are games that we can be in. We played them, both those teams once already, and we had leads coming down the stretch. Maybe this time we can pull it out. We play the Raptors, then the 76ers again, then the Celtics. The Celtics are tearing up the league right now. They're 10-1. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers. The Blazers aren't doing that good. Golden State Warriors aren't that good. Sacramento Kings, we already got blown out by them by 30. The Denver Nuggets we play. The Hawks, they're better than us. Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, you look at that schedule, man, and you know, people can say, "Oh yeah, maybe we can get a win here, we can get a win there." But with this team is so unpredictable. We don't know what they're gonna bring, how they're gonna come into the game from night to night. We could be seeing 5-20 when we're a quarter of the way through the season, And, you talk about turmoil in New York Knicks land. Woo, that's going to be turmoil in New York Knicks land, ladies and gentlemen. Turmoil in New York Knicks land. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. Let me see. Viv, I'm coming to you, man. I want to know from you. I want to hear from you about the team morale, and what do you think what's going to happen in this coming stretch?
Yeah, it's going to be rough, Sim. That's all I can say. A lot of tough teams, and a lot of teams that have been struggling that need to bounce back. So the combination of those two things are just going to make things ugly. I was taking a look at the schedule. I'm just going to pull it up right now for my own sake. But I think, Cleveland's next?
Cleveland's next, yes.
Cleveland's next, and that's at home. And then after that, it's, I believe, Philadelphia. Let me see the other one. I'm just going to pull it up right now. Might as well. I know Philadelphia's there. I don't know if San Antonio's there. I think it's Philadelphia, the Nets. The Spurs are there again. The Raptors. Then Philadelphia again, and then Boston. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the next 8 games until December 1st, or really maybe December 2nd, maybe against the Bucks. Wow, it's a bunch of home games, but man, it's gonna be rough. Because the Sixers they'll just defend you out, and they'll probably take advantage of you. San Antonio. Didn't what was it? Murray killed us last time, so the home opener or the first game of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, Dejounte Murray. So probably him and DeRozan will probably go off again. The Nets. Nets might be interesting. That might be a little breather. But then you got Toronto, who, wow, that's going to be tough. Philadelphia again. Boston. Hey, Boston looked okay, but you got Kemba, so that's a real problem. And Milwaukee's. Morale's tough. I don't know. The reason I say morale's tough is because, the bulk of the roster, or not the bulk of the roster, but at least the kids last year, they all went through 17, losing 65 games last year. So, to some strange sense, I feel like some of these players are just I hate to say desensitized, but I feel like they've already been through this grind once. So I'm just almost wondering that it's just coming. I guess I hate to say that it's just it's inevitable, but I don't know if it's morale killing because I thought the Bulls game would be the beginning at the end of everything. So I don't know. This seems weird like that. I can't really tell you if it's gonna be morale killing. I really thought Fizz would get fired after the Bulls game. I thought once you lose by 20 to the Bulls, I thought that's the end for him. But
the more we continue to lose in this fashion, it's hard for players to keep that morale up. You know what I mean? When you continue to lose in this fashion,
yeah, but I guess the difference
it starts to
eat
at you. It eats at you. It eats at you and eats at you.
But you know what the morale killing losses for me are the losses that are the really close losses. If you had multiple losses that came down to the wire, then that's one thing. But if you're losing by 20, which I guess was really the case, it was case against Detroit, case against Cleveland, Sacramento. Boston was separate, but Orlando, we kind of let the rails go off too. But for most of these losses, they were really blowout losses. So you're almost. His morale kills morale, but it kills morale in an opposite way in a sense because it's not like you almost had it. You never had the game, so I don't know. I'm conflicted. I don't know.
I just feel the more when as losses continue to mount up, morale starts to, you start to get frustrated. This is when you start to, teams start to place blame. Well, it's your fault. It's this fault. It's the coach's fault. It's this and that. And we were calling for the crowd to boo the star players of other teams and really be in the game and be on the Knicks side, trying to shake the confidence of the star players. And yes, this was a good close game, right? A good close game. But the Knicks have got to, pull some of these out and win some of these games. You know what I'm saying? To really get that crowd behind you and revved up behind you.
Right.
I don't, man. I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared over the next few games.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, what do you do with Fizz? Are you gonna evaluate him over the next 10 games if he loses all? I don't know if all 10, but he's 2-8. I mean, I don't know what that does to Fizz. I mean, I don't know. But
yeah.
I mean, we heard all the chatter. I mean, that the chatter's been there for the last week about like the press conference and all that other stuff. So clearly, the cloud is just always going to be there, even though that we only, we beat Dallas in between it, but still, that cloud is going to be there. And I mean, people can have opinions on the press conference or whatever, but I'll tell you this, right? If we're going down by 10 to 15 points, or if we're going down like more double digits, and if it's getting like a blowout at home, then I think Fizz has to be really, really, scared. Or not scared, but that's going to get you in real trouble.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know. And Fizz got to get better too, man. Fizz has to get better. I know he's cleaned up the turnovers and stuff, but just the execution of things got to be better. And he's got to continue to stay consistent with the rotations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say, like I said earlier, the rotations, they're coming. The lineups are coming. We're starting to see some of these things, but man, it's like pulling teeth, and now you're coming into a tough stretch. I really wish we didn't have this stretch coming up.
I know. It was gonna come up anyways. It's gonna come up anyways during the year. So
yeah,
might as well deal with it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get to a phone call. Call Leon live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, what's going on, Sam? How's everything, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm as good as I can be with a Knicks loss tonight.
Yeah, that was rough. So let me ask you, on that last play where Frank, was he going to double or was he trying to cheat and kind of
he was trying to cheat a little bit
over Washington?
He was trying to cheat a little bit.
Yeah.
He was trying to anticipate.
He got burned. He made a great contest. He did. He got back and gave it a good contest on that shot. But,
he was trying to anticipate where Graham was going to cut.
Yeah.
And then, Graham made a better cut back the other way, and, that's the story of the game.
I mean, he gave it he was there. Luckily he got back. He made a good contest at that shot, and he got back and he recovered well. But that guy's, where was he, a late first round pick? I don't remember.
I don't know. I think he played some time in the G League last year. He didn't play much. Last year. He was behind Kemba Walker, Tony Parker. So he was, just kind of on the bench. But now, he's coming out. He's averaging 18 points per game, man.
I think he's got most improved locked up.
I think Pascal Siakam has most improved locked up.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Probably. Yeah. Well, Siakam was already really good last year, though. So I mean, it could be Siakam, though. Yeah, he definitely took a big lead.
Yeah, I mean, Pascal Siakam went from 16 points a game to 27 points per game. I think he's got that locked up.
Yeah, he's ridiculous this year. Without Kawhi, you knew he was gonna step up.
Right.
It just frustrates me because Frank is supposed to be a great defender, and every game we're getting killed by guards. You know what I mean? I know it's not all him. A lot of it is switching, and it's just he should be on the team's best offensive threat every game, whether it's the 1, the 2, or even the small forward, the 3. You know what I'm saying? He should be traveling with the best scorer or the hottest scorer every single game.
Yeah. I feel
we can't have Knox guarding these good shooters and Randall and Portis. These guys can't defend me or you. They shouldn't be guarding Graham and Malik Monk and all, these good scorers. It's not gonna help us at all. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I feel you.
Besides Frank and Mitch, I think, rest of our defense is not. I mean, Barrett. I think Barrett is surprisingly. I think he's pretty solid on defense.
Barrett's a good defender. Good. Yeah, Barrett's a pretty good defender.
Yeah, he is. Defender. Yeah, I didn't know that, but his defense has actually impressed me. Been pretty solid, I gotta say.
Yeah, he's a pretty good
defender. What do you think is our biggest? I mean, I know a lot of people are going to talk about the draft. It's too early for me. I mean, it's still we're not even. I know. I mean, I get it. I understand it. But I mean,
what was you going to ask? What do I think? What do I think is the biggest what?
Next draft, you would think, right?
I'm not even talking about the draft right now, man. I'm not even getting into the draft.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We got these young guys on the team. I think they owe us. They owe us. We owe them. Some attention and to focus on them until we get to that point in the season. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate the call, bro.
All right, man. Have a good night,
man.
Bro.
All right, peace. Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen. 516-405-2246. Give me a call. The Knicks take a loss to the Charlotte Hornets tonight. A tough loss, ladies and gentlemen. Really tough loss. A loss that we needed. We really needed to win tonight, because we got a tough schedule coming up. I'm not sure what to expect when we play Cleveland. Honestly, folks, I don't know what to expect. I just don't know. I mean, you hope, they talk about being dogs and da-da-da-da-da. So you hope that they're going to come out with the right energy, but I don't know. Hopefully they have get-backs on their mind and they're ready to, go in there and get back the loss that they took to the Cleveland Cavaliers a week or two ago, whatever it was. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up with you, brother?
I just want to talk about Steve Mills and what he said. When they had the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with Steve Mills 100%. About the Knicks, them feeling that the Knicks are better than what they are. Because if you look at the top teams in the Eastern Conference 1 through 5, Knicks can't beat those teams. But from 6, 7, and 8, Indiana, Charlotte, and Brooklyn, all about Orlando, Cleveland, Atlanta, Chicago, and Detroit, and Washington, the Knicks can beat those teams. They can compete with those teams. Now I see why Steve Mills said what he said. The coaching has to be a lot better. I'm not a believer in Fizdale, man. I'm really not. We need a coach who can develop these players, these young players. These young players that we have are talented, man. Look at Mitchell. Look what Mitchell did tonight. On a hobble. He's hobbled. Knicks have a lot of talent. We got one of the most talented young teams in the NBA. But being young, you're gonna have to. This is what young teams do. They lose, But you gotta have a coach that can develop them, make them winners. And Fizdale is definitely not that, man.
You don't think he's the guy? And look, I was prepared. I really was preparing myself to come in tonight and say Fizdale is beginning to win me back until I seen what happened the last play of the game. And I was like, seriously, come on, B. I mean, come on, man. I don't know, man. You can't make this stuff up, man. Can't make it up, for real. Can't make it up.
The guy from Charlotte, he hit 9 threes. But I didn't see him put the ball on the floor. He shot all threes.
Mm-hmm.
The coaching has to be better. You got to run them off. You got to run them off that 3-point line. The Knicks is sitting there and letting him shoot threes.
Well, part of the issue is the switching. The constant switching. We always switch. You know what I'm saying? So, we're constantly switching. And with all the switching, you're going to get people left open from 3 from time to time. And when you don't say, okay, this guy is going to be on Devontae Graham and you don't let him go, you stay with him, no switches on him, then, he's going to get lost. He's going to get lost out there.
People complain about Frank and the guards. Frank going against the other guards. There's no guard in this NBA that can lock down a point guard. There's nobody, none of them. This is a team effort, man. It's a team effort. Everybody has to be involved on defense. Frank can't stop at all the point guards in the NBA. He can only do so much.
Yeah.
And
like just one second. I just want to go 1 second. Let me see. Khalil Pasha, You said Simmet was 2-3. It was 2-3. Actually, the Knicks were playing 3-2. They weren't really playing 2-3. They were playing a 3-2. All right. And some of it. So, hold on 1 second. Let me just respond to this guy 1 second. Right. So they were playing some 3-2. They were playing some man. Right. They were mixing it up, going back and forth. You know, playing some 3-2, playing some man, trying to throw different looks out there. All right. There was a point in the third quarter where, you know, there was a point in the third quarter where they got really hot and they were knocking it down from 3. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of it is due to the Knicks switching. And with all the switching going on, it's easy to lose a player because they didn't just play zone the entire game. They switched back and forth. And there was actually a point in the second quarter where the zone was working really well. Then Charlotte figured it out. They came out of the zone. They went back to the zone a little bit in the third quarter, you know, back and forth. You know what I'm saying? But this is not the only night that we've seen someone get hot from 3. We've seen people get hot from 3 on multiple occasions before the Knicks were even doing this zone, because they haven't been doing this zone all year. They've been doing the zone the last 2 or 3 games. Teams still been getting hot from 3 because we switch so much. And when you switch a lot, it's easy to get confused on who's going to switch on to who. We get a player wide open here, wide open there. You know what I'm saying? And we allow teams to get dribble penetration. When teams get dribble penetration, we collapse. And a lot of times we collapse really deep off of 3-point shooters. We collapse, you know, we collapse in, and then it's hard for us to get back out to the 3-point shooters. Teams kick it out. A lot of other, you know, teams are analyzing what we do, ladies and gentlemen, and they're seeing what we do. And a lot of times I feel like we don't necessarily have a game plan when we're going up against other teams, but these other teams have a game plan against us. You know what I'm saying? You know, well, I mean, they did. I'm not saying they did not play 2-3, but they played more 3-2 than 2-3. You can go back and look at that second quarter. And if you go back and look at the second quarter, you're going to see 3 guys up at the top of the key and 2 guys down below. They played a lot of 3-2 zone, a lot of 3-2 zone. That is the reason why Charlotte came out and went to a 2-1-2. Go back and look at it. They played a lot of 3-2 zone. They did some 2-3. I'm not saying they did not, but they also played a lot of 3-2 zone. You do a 3-2 zone because the 3-2 zone helps teams to stop shooting the 3 from the wing. Now teams got to try to shoot it from the corner. You go look at it. They played 3-2 zone a lot in that second quarter. A lot of 3-2 zone in the second quarter. Charlotte called a timeout, then they went 2-1-2. Okay? It wasn't the entire game. They switched it up and did man. They did a lot of defensive switching. You know, I don't mean switching men, but switching defenses. You know, changing up the defense. They did a lot of changing up the defense tonight, which is good. I like that. But you got to make sure you're doing it strategically as well. Let me get back to the call I had on. Oh, he hung up. 516-405-2246, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a call. I'm going to head off shortly. I'm going to head off shortly, but I want to hear from you. 516-405-2246. Call in. I want to know how your morale is right now. What do you feel about the team going forward, coming up into this stretch that we have coming up? Because it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I want to know what you think about it. I'm going to come back to the video chat, see what these guys think, see what these guys are talking about in here. Guillermo, coming to you, bro. Hey, Guillermo.
I hear you, Sam.
How you feeling about this stretch coming up, man? How you feeling about the team right now? What's up?
Not too good, man. And I want to speak to your morale point. I really want to stress this. This team right now, just how it operates, especially when it comes to Randall. You know, he's a so-called big ticket item. And then you got also guys like Morris who are basically hired mercenaries who are probably going to be traded off. I want to say it's about morale, man. This team morale with a guy like Randall who gives really no effort on defense. Watch that team when Randall was out, just defensively, how fluid they were. The ball got moved around on offense a little bit more. It was quicker. And that was one of my concerns with Randall when I watched this film with the Pelicans. You know, whenever he came out and they put in guys like Diallo, you know, that team, they were just more hungry on offense. They were quicker on defense. Even on offense, it was a little more fluid. And I think the thing with Randall is that when you have a guy who's a big, have the coach's so-called pick and the walk-on. And when the walk-ons do better than the coach's pick, but the coach wants to justify why he gave this lesser guy the scholarship, you know what I mean? You can cause dissension in the locker room. And I really look at this team. You see guys like Randall. I see guys like RJ. You see guys like Frank. You see guys like Dotson. You see guys like Taj Gibson. When they're selling out on defense, and they know that we don't have superstars on this team, but they know that if we can defend and get possessions, easy possessions to the basket, turnovers, that this team can have a chance at success. And they see a guy like Randall, who, when they put him back in, yes, he did make a few shots down the stretch, but then he's taking the ball again, shooting the ball at ill-advised times on the shot clock. Then he's not defending on top of that. You can have a bad situation, a volatile situation where the guys who are working hard are looking at it and like, yo, they're going to bark on him, or they're going to get mad at the coach. You know what I mean? So things can fall apart easily. You know, I would say to Randall, bro, you got to show more effort on defense. You know, even Portis, who's not a good defender. I saw him tonight when I think it was a foul. I can't remember who it was on, but they were trying to cross him up, and the best they do was basically driving him. And he did draw the foul, but at least he tried to stay in front of his man and defend. You know, he gave an effort to try to say, hey, I'm trying to show them my hips aren't the most, you can't move like you guys. You know, I can't shift my hips like you guys, but I'm trying. You see a guy like Randall who's taking these shots, and he's putting up the points, but they're empty points because we're not winning. And his defense is so bad, man. Like I can see it's easily breaking up where, you know, you're gonna start seeing anonymous quotes, or you're gonna start seeing, you know, guys talk a little bit about, you know, us as a team, we got to show more effort on defense. We got to be more disciplined, blah, blah. And that's what happens when you have a guy who doesn't preach fundamentals, who doesn't preach discipline to these young guys. The Knicks right now don't, like the caller said, I think the one that made fun of Fizdale's glasses, I agree with him 1,000%. This team needs a guy who can develop players. You know what I mean? The thing about this why this game was so, it hurt so much, was because, yes, you did have the lead, the 15-point lead, whatever, and things got dicey, right? This is the type of win that you're just like, oh, I'm just happy we got through it. But when you see that you know, the fundamentals hurt you and you feel hopeless, you feel like there's no answer. You know what I mean? If we lost to, say, the Lakers, if we lost to, say, the Bucks in this fashion, but we had a team that was developing, and you saw guys, and it was just like, look, they're just better talent-wise, you'd be like, all right, chalk it up to just them being better than us. But this Knicks team, you see it. It's like you see kind of like this hopeless feeling where it's like, all right, crunch time, we're putting back in Randall to do what? Like, now the offense gets stagnant to this ISO crap versus getting the ball moved around. Like you said, in the 3-2, you played a 2-1-2 to break it down. I saw them pass to Mitch a few times. I guess I was wrong. It was early in the third quarter. But, you know, you see hopeless when you don't have an answer to basic basketball 101.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just think that this morale right now, it could blow up where you see the young guys who are trying hard. And now Dotson's getting more minutes. Even I don't think he's going to talk up. But, you know, I can see a guy like RJ, you know, because he's the leader of this team, and he knows it. And he knows that they can't have a guy like Randall hurting them on this team, right? So I can see this thing blowing up. You guys, you want to talk about Cleveland? Again, let a guy like Sexton come in. Cleveland doesn't have the best of front courts. You know what I mean? But they're going to try to switch away. If we don't play zone, now we're playing a lot more zone. But this is a team that you have guys like Garland and Sexton. You probably have to play the 3-2. You know, you got to try to let Tristan Thompson beat you in the paint. It's a team that, again, now that y'all playing more zone, Fizdale has to adapt, man. Like, bruh, adapt to what's happening in front of you. Like you said, their coach adapted. When we were playing zone, they had no answer until they switched to 2-1-2 and they started killing us with their shooters. We have to adapt. Oh, not 2-1-2. Excuse me. We're still playing 2-3. But whatever. We have to adapt. Fizdale has to adapt.
Yeah,
he has to show more fundamentals, more discipline. He has to scream at guys like Randall. He has to scream at guys like Morris when he thinks he's Kobe or he's doing that stuff. When at times he thinks he's Kobe. You stop being friends with these guys, man. They're not your friends. It's like, I'll say his last name. I got to go to other guys like Madison, Commander. Master Commander in the movie, one of the captains was trying to, hokey pokey play around, whatever, and one of the guys on the ship disrespected him. And Russell Crowe went to the captain. He's like, "Yo, bro, you can't let that happen. You are not their friend. You are their captain." He whipped him with the nine tails, and those guys did not act up again in front of him. Fizdale guy has to think about it. I don't care to be friends with you guys. I'm not going to disrespect you, but as long as we're winning and you're learning, you're going to thank me later when we have wins in the playoffs and hopefully when we have a ring. But he has to stop being buddy with these guys, especially guys that they're trying to justify and validate the contracts with. You can't do that, man. You got a lot more people in this team. You have a future to build. You have a foundation to build this team. Build the foundation, work on the fundamentals, work on discipline, work on plays, work on schemes, and work on defense, man. This is unacceptable, man.
Yeah, I hear you. And to throw some icing on the cake after tonight's loss, I don't want to say if we, I don't want to put it out in the atmosphere that we're going to lose. We got to beat Cleveland. But if we happen to lose, we would have played two teams coming off of a back-to-back and lost to them. That's not going to be, I'm not going to be happy about that. I'm not going to be happy about that, man. Not going to be happy about that at all, because they played Detroit last night, had to travel from Detroit. They played an emotional game, won an emotional game in Detroit last night, had to travel to New York after the game, and then, win in New York the same way that they just won in Detroit. And now Cleveland, they play Philadelphia tomorrow, and then Monday, they play us. Right? So there's two teams coming off of a back-to-back. I'm not going to be happy if we lose them, Joe. Not going to be happy if we lose both these games, man. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's going on, son, man? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right. Yeah, man. Hey, I just want to thank you for this platform, man, that you give us Knicks fans to just come on here to vent, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's what we need it. As Knicks fans, we need it. We need something to be able to come on and just vent and let it out. You see, me and Mark, if you've been watching the whole show, if not, you go right from the beginning. Me and Mark, we had to let it out on each other because we can't let it out on the Knicks. Because we can't let it out on the Knicks. We had to let it out on each other.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Hey, man. Frank's a good defender. But my thing is that Frank is so predictable.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up the court. As soon as he passes the half court line, he passes the ball, and then he runs around. He is predictable, and that gives the defense enough to set up for what we're trying to do. And I strongly think that Trier should be our starting point guard and just run with it. Trier is a rhythm player. He can break down a D. He might be a ball hog at times, but that's something he can become a passing point guard. Because right now we strongly need a point guard right now. Because we are struggling at the point guard. Point guards are coming in and just taking advantage of us. He's just killing us, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Trey being at the point guard spot. Right now, Trey is clearly in Fizz's doghouse. I don't know if it's
see that.
I don't know if it's his style of play, or I don't know if it's something else. But he's clearly in Fizz's doghouse.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wouldn't put him at point guard though. He's a shooting guard. I think when you put him in the game, you put him in there to score. That's what I think.
Yeah, but at this time, man, we got to do something, man, because clearly it all comes down to point guard play at the end. When the games are close like this, it's point guard play. And their guards is just clearly outmatching our guards.
I agree. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you there, man. We got to figure out something to do there. We need a leader. We need a bona fide leader on the floor and decision maker on the floor. We're not getting that from our point guards. They're both very young. Right, Alfred Payton obviously is hurt. Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. are both very young, so I don't know, man. Hey, man, I appreciate the call, man.
Randall ain't cutting it right now, brother. Randall is not cutting it. I'm not saying he's a good offensive player, but he's just he should not be handling the ball in crunch time situations. He's a post-up player, back a player down, beat him up a little bit, down in the paint. That's it. He shouldn't be trying to facilitate any type of offense, man. It's just crazy how this offense is being ran.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, bro. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. I appreciate the
No,
call.
no doubt,
I'm
man.
about
Keep
to
it
get
up,
up
man.
out of here.
And you definitely got my support, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right,
Oh, let me get to one more phone call, man, before I get up out of here. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping? Hey, yo.
Yo, what's good, Tim? Can you
What's
hear me?
good with you? Yep, I can hear you.
Yo, yeah, so going back to morale, I don't know if you saw Frank's post-game interview, but he seemed kind of like beat up, you know? Like he's taking it like it was his fault that the Knicks lost, you know? And man, it's deceptive, you know? The way that the coach is putting these young cats to fail like that, you know? You guys are touching on the point that RJ wasn't even in the last play when he was the player who was hottest or whatever. And it sucks because coming off of that Mavs win, you know, me too, you know, I was a big advocate for Fizz. And I thought that, you know, he was finally starting to get it, but I mean, I guess we should have known better, you know. He's just not a good coach. And I don't trust him to develop these kids, you know.
Yeah. Listen, Frank Ntilikina does take stuff like that hard. Frank is
he's a dog.
Listen, he loves the game, man. He loves the game. So he does take that kind of stuff hard. Without a doubt. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't beat himself over it too much. You know, he made a tactical error and he went for a fake, or tried to project where he was going to what's his name? Can't even think of his name now, where he was going. He was still there to contest the shot, but it just wasn't enough, you know.
Yeah, his length allowed him to recover, you know, it just wasn't enough, like you said. And that's the thing that pisses me off too, kind of like what Mark was saying earlier. It's like, you know, you live by the three, you die by the three, but these Hornets, this kid, Graham, you know, he lived by the three, survived by the three, fucking won by the three. You know, but had that been us in that position, I've had no business going in.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Hey, I appreciate the call, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you,
the
bro.
call, man.
Have a good night.
All right, peace. Ladies and gentlemen, when you call up, please make sure you watch your language, all right? Even though, you know, this is not a show that's governed by the FCC or nothing like that. A lot of times we get some young kids in here listening. We try to keep it clean. Listen, I'm getting up out of here, man. Sometime tomorrow, I don't know when it be. It might be tomorrow, maybe Monday morning. I'm going to do a game preview of the Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not going to be able to see that game until about halftime because I have basketball practice, but I will be home to do the post-game analysis and all that good stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know what we're going to do. We got a rough stretch coming up. We really need this game against the Cavaliers. You know, so look out for the notification about the game preview. That'll be coming up soon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to that channel right now. Okay, and ring that notification bell so you'll be notified when I'm live or if I drop a video or anything else that I do. Hey, I was really hoping for Marcus Morris to have a game tonight, man, because I got a shirt design that I'm anxious to put out there. I'm not gonna put it out there yet, but it's pretty dope though. Still working out some kinks to it, but it's pretty dope. But anyway, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend. I got to get up in the morning and coach a basketball game, so I want to make sure I'm fresh and I don't make decisions like Coach Fizz makes decisions out there sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure I got a fresh mind when I step on the court. And maybe that's the problem. Guillermo. Maybe Coach Fizz is up too late at night and his mind just isn't fresh when he's out there in the games, you know?
He's probably worried about his wife sleeping with somebody else.
I hope not.
Oh, you heard me?
I heard you. See, you can't be saying, you saying that stuff on the air. I'm talking to you. You saying that stuff on the air. See that?
I didn't know you had me unmuted.
Coach Fizz might be listening right now. Coach Fizz probably heard you right now.
Yo, Fizz, look, that was not a shot at you, man. You just have a very lovely wife. But that's all I'm gonna say, man. But Coach Fizz, you gotta do a better job, bro. This is unacceptable. You supposed to come from a pedigree of Pat Riley, the great Spoelstra, who's a good coach. This is unacceptable. You got to get in Randall's face. I know he's your big ticket item. Be a big ticket items about you selling you back to unemployment line, man. You gotta make him sit down if he's not playing defense, because dudes are gonna get him in his face, and when they get in his face, that means they're getting your face. So when you watching film of Fizdale, hopefully you're watching this. When Randall's not helping out a pick and roll defense, when Randall's not going out for rebounds, you had a guy in Mitchell Robinson who turned his ankle, who stayed in the game. This is a guy who could have came out, stayed in the game, played defense, and then got the flush dunk, and I think he shot the foul shots, whatever. I can't remember the sequence, but I think he got I'm pretty sure he got the dunk while hurt. That shows grit. That shows he cares. People get on Frank talking about, oh, Frank didn't give up 15 points. The whole team gave 15 points, that 15-point lead. And Frank is talking like it hurts him. You know what I mean? And I agree. Frank has to be more aggressive on offense. He has to be the point guard to get into the paint, penetrate, all that stuff. But it hurts to him. And you got RJ, who I'm looking at RJ's face. RJ looks like, yo, bro, like this some BS, man. We gotta play better than this. RJ gives us all. I don't see RJ slack off on defense. Yes, Kyrie and Tatum hit shots on him, but those are amazing shots by amazing really good players. You couldn't defend that much better. I know Walt Clyde Frazier said, "Oh, you should close on Kyrie." Walt Clyde Frazier, you are a defensive stalwart. That was your bread and butter. RJ ain't that yet, hopefully, and he still played good defense on that shot. But you got like a guy like Randall. Julius Randle sitting there thinking that he's Jokic, thinking that he's Arvydas Sabonis back in 1992 when he was in Europe. Like, bro, stop over. I don't know what Randall's doing, but someone's going to get in his face, bro. And they're going to tell him like it is, because this is unacceptable, man. You got a young team that's trying to scrap for wins. And that's when we talked about this, Sim, the last time in terms of momentum. When you get teams that scrap for wins, when they can win it by grit versus talent, when they can win it by attitude and by yo, it's us against the world. That's the type of team that you can see running off 10, 15 wins here and there. I'm not saying in a row they can go 12 for 3 or something like that, blah, blah, blah. And now you have a team that has contention. You look up and it's like, oh, the Knicks, what the hell? You know what I mean? But it's guys like Randall who are not helping. They're killing the defense, man. And that's how we got to win these games. So salute to you, Sim. The joke on what Fizdale's wife, I ain't trying to disrespect nobody. It's just a joke. But Fizdale, you got to focus more on this team, man. You got to. I don't know if you got to watch Sim when he goes and coaches people, but you should know how to play against a 3-2 offense, defense. Excuse me.
Yeah,
but you know about pick and roll defense. You should know about the fundamentals, Fizdale. I don't know what you do in Miami. Hopefully, you just run on Instagram and having fun in Miami. But talk to Pat Riley and get some coaching tips, because this is terrible, bro.
I hear you. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, when you guys join that second camera, you listen to that second camera, that's what you're going to get. They say whatever over there. I'm not responsible for what's said in that camera. All right? Because they say, I don't know. They be saying a lot of stuff over there. I'm not responsible for that. Mark, I'm coming to you, man. Just give me some last words right quick.
Sam, let me tell you something, bro.
Mark was screaming at me earlier today. Will you guys rewind the video? Mark was hot. Camera was going back and forth. Mark was ready to jump through the screen, man.
I'm glad to bring entertainment purpose. Those are entertainment purposes. But other than that, bro, I say if we lose Monday, Sim, that stream might be my last stream, because listen, like I know the chat will be happy that I'm going. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. If we lose Monday and then we have to go on a roll for that schedule, I don't know when we're going to get
the whole schedule is not on the road. There's a lot of home games in that schedule.
But the teams that we play, man.
But it's the teams that we play, because we play Cleveland at home, then we go to Philly, we play San Antonio at home, we play Brooklyn at home, we go to Toronto, we play Philadelphia at home, Boston at home. We're away at Milwaukee. We play Denver at home, then the Pacers at home. You know what makes it even worse? Right? Is if we're losing all these games and it's at home.
Yeah, bro, we lost 4 games at home already.
Right.
4.
I mean, but man, if we're losing all these games and it's at home, that's not going to be good.
Sam, this game took something out of me, bro, because if we'd had 2 in a row, that's another confident builder, man. That's how it goes. That's how it goes when you want to.
That's how it goes.
And bro, one day I'm gonna sit here and just get a montage of when certain people are off the floor and then he has this certain roster, how we look defensively.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in that game, when we went up those 15 points, bro, the defensive schemes that he put in, it's there. But when certain players are on the floor, holy hell. And it's hard to keep players on the floor because they get tired and you gotta bring certain players in to justify some of their contracts and something the extra stuff. But other than that, bro, if we don't win Monday, bro, Monday might be my last stream until December 15th. We can make a trade for someone. It's to a point, man. Somebody call up Ish Smith at the point guard. We need some kick drive penetration, man.
I feel you, man. Hey, Mark, I'm getting out of here, man.
All right, bro. Good night, man.
Let me get a good night from these guys right here real quick. Isaiah, just give us a quick good night. You taking that hour drive home.
Yes. Yo, Sam.
Real quick, man. Real quick, because I'm getting out of here. I got to coach in the morning.
Man, we gotta do so much better. I mean, like you said, we got a tough stretch coming. I'm actually going to the Philly game. I'm going to that one. Man, Sam, we just got to do a better job, man, because we're just getting killed. We're not playing, the defensive strategy. We just got to get better. The offense, it's just not good, man. I mean, I'm proud that I'm not gonna lie, Sam. A lot of our opponents were holding to under like 110 points, which I'm proud of, but we're only scoring 100 points. So the offense has to get better, man. Fizz got to step it up. He's got to get in these guys' faces, Sam. He's got to tell these guys, listen, Julius, got to do better. We got to play harder. You're supposed to be a leader. RJ has to be on the floor, son. My thing with Fizdale, you can't call RJ Kawhi Leonard and then you don't put him in the game at the end of the game. That does not make sense. You're contradicting yourself. So Fizz got to step it up because this we got to do better because if we don't turn it around, Sam, we're gonna be 17 wins. That's gonna be a wish.
Hey, you might be right, especially with this stretch coming up. You might be right. Isaiah, Nate, real quick, man, because I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, man. Execution, big problem. I did not like the fact that we were up by 15 and blew the lead. And I know Frank made a mistake on that last play, going with the other guy instead of Rozier. But you got to explain me the last play of the game, that set. I didn't understand it. Why does the ball always have to be in Randall? I mean, can they not set screens and free a shooter open or something? I mean, I hate the ball in Randall's hands every time.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
I wish somebody would ask him that question and say, why did you set that play up? Because his out of bounds plays are terrible, man.
Yeah. I think a lot of people probably already asked the question from him, and if he pays attention to social media at all, if he watches this show at all, Fizz, if you're watching right now, you hear the question. You heard everything that was said in the show. And for real, I think there's a lot of people that do think and feel that Fizdale watches maybe not just this show, but other shows and other things that's out there. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know if any other show does as much analyzing as we do. We do a lot of analyzing and breaking down and because we got some basketball guys in here and talking about strategies and all that kinds of stuff. So I don't know if other shows do it, but it does seem like Emmanuel said, we talk about something on the show, then we see it in the game. I don't know, Fizz. If we're coaching for you, then you owe us a little part of your paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And just let me know. Hit me up. Let me know. I can get everybody's email. I can get everybody's PayPal account, and you can get everybody a little bit of portion of what you get paid. If we're coaching for you, if we're helping you out with a few things here and there, a couple of tweaks, this and that, give us a couple of pennies off that joint. The same, Fizz. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Man, I will catch you guys probably tomorrow as I do the game preview, the Knicks versus the Cleveland Cavaliers on Monday night. We need this game. We need this game. At some point, we're gonna get to a point if we continue to lose where we're gonna say it doesn't matter. It still matters right now. It still matters. We're 3-10, but it still matters. So we need this one. We really do. After this stretch coming up, after this next month, we may no longer be saying that we need the win. Anyway, I'm out of here. You guys have a great weekend. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. Man, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself. Peace.
That's the jig.